cool. Okay, so going back for number 1, again, I made this from standard form into y-intercept form, and slope-intercept form, and that's how I found -1 and 9. Second problem, you do not have to change it up. It's already in slope-intercept form. So my slope is 1/5, and my y-intercept is -5. Number 3, same directions, but they want you to graph. Graph the equation y equals 4. So in order to graph this equation, I'm going to draw my lines. Okay, I'm going to graph by 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Positive 1, 2, 3, and 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. And on the other side, -1, -2, -3, and -4. Now it asked me to graph y equals 4, so I need to look at my y-intercept. I need to go up to my positive 4 and make a dot. And if y equals 4, then I need to draw a horizontal line because there is no slope. Slope is 0. And that's how I would graph that equation. Cool. Number 4. Same thing. They want you to graph x equals -4. X equals -4. So you're going to draw the graph. I'm going to go by 2s to do this a little quicker. 2, 4, 2, 4, -2, -4, -2, -4. Tells me that x is -4, so I'm going to look on my x-axis. I'm going to locate -4. I'm going to place a point on -4, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. And that is my answer. Any questions on -4? Any questions on number 4? Yes, please.
Miss Ma'am, for those ones, can we just put like C paper or whatever for the answer on the actual page?
Yes, that's fine. Okay, number 5. Number 5 asks you to do the same thing, but it gave us an equation. Oops, number 5. It gave us the equation in point slope form. So we have y plus 5 equals -2/3 times x minus 5. Okay, again, you can't graph that until you put it into slope-intercept form. So what am I going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is distribute my -2/3 x and with -5. So I'm distributing here and here. So I have y plus 5 equals -2/3 x, that's -2/3 times x, minus, and I'm going to literally show you, 2/3 times -5, which is also known as -5/1. So when I solve that, I have -2 times a positive 5, or times a -5, which is positive, so that's a plus 10. And then I have 3 times 1 is 3. So I did the multiplication of the fraction. Okay, so now I want to get 3 probably out of that denominator, but I don't really necessarily need to. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides to get y by itself. 5's cancel. I'm going to put y equals -2/3 x plus, now I have 10/3 minus 5, also known as 5/1. common denominator, y equals negative 2/3 x plus, I need to multiply by 3 here, so that common denominator, 10 over 3 minus 3 times 5 is 15 over 3 times 1 is 3. Now I have a common denominator right here. So then I have y equals negative 2/3 x. 10 minus 15 is a negative 5 over 3. So now I have it in slope-intercept form. Now it needs me to graph the equation. So I'm going to graph it. I'm going to go by, I can go by fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so I know that my y-intercept is negative 5 over 3, which is, if I were to turn that into an improper fraction, or sorry, a mixed number, I would get 1 2/3. So I did my division over here, so that's negative, because there's a negative in front of the 5/3, negative 1 2/3 of the way down. And then my slope is minus 2 over a positive 3. So down 2 to the right 3. I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to connect my line. Okay. Make sure you have that. Pencil up if you're good. Awesome. Okay, number 6. Number 6 on the study guide says, tell whether the lines for each pair of equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So I have y equals 4 over 3x minus 11. They also give me 6x plus 8y equals 4. So I like to put them on different sides so I make sure that I know what's going on here. Now, to decide whether lines are perpendicular, parallel, or neither, it needs to be in slope-intercept form. So in slope-intercept form, I know this one's already in slope-intercept form, and that my slope is 4 over 3. So what I need to do is put my other equation in slope-intercept form, and then see if the slopes are the same, it's parallel. If they're opposite inverses, it's perpendicular. If it doesn't match up at all, it's neither. Okay? So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides to get y by itself, isolate the variable. Positive 6, negative 6x cancel out. I have 8y equals negative 6x plus 4. Okay? Almost there. I need to get y by itself by dividing by 8 on both sides. Y equals, again, you can separate them so it's easier for you, negative 6 over 8 plus 4 over 8. And then you can reduce afterwards. Y equals negative 6 over 8 reduced is negative 3/4 plus 1/2. So now that this is in slope-intercept form, I'm going to find my slope. Are they the same? Are they the exact same slope, guys?
No.
No, so can it be parallel? No. Are they opposite inverses? They have
Yes.
opposite signs, and are they flipped? Yes. So my answer is perpendicular. Any questions on figuring that out? Okay. Number 7. Number 7 gives you a graph, and it says the rate of change. What's another word for the rate of change? What? Slope, right? the rate of change is same as slope. Very good, Daniela. So find the rate of change. Explain what the rate of change means for this situation. Well, I know rate of change is like the same as slope. So that's the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I could pick any numbers on the graph. Now look at this, okay? I'm going to pick these first couple right here. So I'm going to use the 6 and the 4 on the x and the 318 and 212 on the y, okay? So I have 318 minus 212 over 6 minus 4. Again, where did I get that? You need to get two numbers from the x and two numbers for the y and then subtract them. You could use 6 and 8. You can use 424 and 318. You'll get the same answer. You might as well just choose the first two. Okay? So when I subtract 318 from 212, I get 106. When I subtract 6 from 4, I get 2. And I know I can reduce that to get 53 over 1. 53 over 1 is your answer, but it's asking you to explain the rate of change. So I need to write it in a sentence. So I would write it as your car travels 53 miles every 1 hour. That's how you write in a sentence, 53 over 1. And we're talking about time and distance. So your car travels 53 miles every 1 hour. Yes, Elizabeth?
Why can't you just divide the distance by the time? Because it was still get 53.
Just because it asks you to use the rate of change. So I'm just,
So will that work?
not every time, but sure, try it. Double check your answer. Doesn't hurt. Number 8. So make sure you wrote that sentence down. Number 8 on the study guide gives you a graph that looks like so. And it's asking you to find the slope of the line. Well, you need to look at it. Where does it cross the y-axis? It looks like right here on the -3, it crosses the y-axis. Where does it touch or cross on the x-axis? Looks like it does at -1. So I need to find the rate of change or the slope. So I need to count how many spaces I need to get from the x-intercept to the y-intercept. So from here I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So I went up 3. And then I'm going to go to the left 1. So I went up 3, left 1. If I go up 3, is that positive or negative? Positive. If I go left 1, is that positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative 1. How do I reduce -3 over 1? Negative 3. That's my slope. That's all you have to do. So look at the graph. Put a dot on where it crosses the y. Put a point or a dot on where it crosses the x and count the squares. Up is positive, down is negative, to the right is positive, to the left is negative, just like a number line. Number 9. Number 9 gives us a graph that looks like this. Now, here is where they're giving us the line. They're asking us to state whether the slope is 0 or undefined. Well, if you go up vertical, is there a slope? No. So what is the answer?
Undefined.
Good, so I would write the slope is undefined. Right, it doesn't pass the vertical line test. And there's another way of thinking about it. But any straight line on an x, there's no slope, it's undefined. If it's horizontal, the slope is what?
0.
Oh, wow. So look at number 10. You just basically told me the answer. We get a graph that looks like this. This is the line they give us. If my slope is horizontal and it's not at any type of angle, what is going to be my slope? 0. Very good. So you would put the slope is 0. Number 11. Use the slope and y-intercept to graph the equation. Okay. So y equals negative 3 over 5x plus 4. They want me to graph this equation. So what's my y-intercept?
4.
What is it?
4.
Positive 4. So that's where it's going to cross on the y-axis. Now some people aren't paying attention. I don't do this for me. I know how to do this. It's for you, so please pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to go by 4s again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go by 5s, you can go by 10s, there's little kids screaming. Ay. Okay, so if my y-intercept is 4, I'm going to place a point or a dot on my positive 4 on the y-axis. Now my slope tells me negative 3, which means up or down 3. Down 3, positive 5, which means the right or left 5.
Right.
Right 5, so I'm going to go down. 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 5. You can keep going, but that's what my line would look like. I connect my points, and that's what my graph would be. Please make sure you have that graph. Move on. Number 12. Number 12 asks me, write y equals 1 over 8x plus 6 in standard form using integers. Okay, well, what's the formula for standard form? Ax plus by equals c. So I need to get x and y on the same side, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you write something in standard form, are your numbers, or these top variables here, are they fractions? No, so you got to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 8, which is what's in the denominator, on both sides. So 8 times y is 8y. And I'm multiplying 1 over 8x times 8 over 1 plus 6 times 8. What did I just show you? I just showed you that I distributed. I have to multiply 8 by both of those numbers. So 8y equals, well, cross cancel. I get x plus 6 times 8 is 48. Am I in standard form yet?
No.
No, x and y still need to be on the same side. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides to get it on the same side as y. My positive and negative x cancel. So I'm left with negative, because it stays attached to that x, negative x plus 8y equals 48. Now it's in standard. So if you ever have a fraction and you need to write in standard form, to get rid of that, multiply the number in the denominator on both sides. To get rid of that number in the denominator. Number 13 has 2 parts to it. The first thing it asks is, it tells you a line passes through negative 4, 2, and 5, 7. It wants me to write an equation in point slope form. Well, do we know the slope yet?
No.
Nope, so we got to find the slope out first. How do we do that? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, the rate of change. So my y2 is 7 minus my y1, which is 2, over my x2, which is 5, minus negative 4, which is my x1. Okay? That's going to be 7 minus 2 is 5. And then I have 5 minus negative 4, which is a 5 plus 4. So I'm going to have 5 over 9. I found my slope. Okay? Now I can put this in point slope form. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. So the first thing I would do tomorrow on my test is write down those three forms so you don't have to keep going back. Write down standard form, write down slope intercept form, write down point slope form at the top of your paper so you don't have to keep trying to remember. Okay? So I'm going to plug it in. Y minus, my y1 is what? 2 equals m, we found slope, 5/9 times the quantity of x minus my x1 is -4. So that's y minus 2 over 5/9 x plus 4. Because a negative and a negative next to each other becomes a positive. Alright? So now I need to, I'm good. That's the first part. So we answered letter A. Letter B, that was letter A. Letter B tells us that we need to rewrite the equation in standard form. So now we have y minus 2 equals 5/9 x plus 4. I'm using what I have. And now I'm going to turn that into point slope form. Easy. Or sorry, standard form. So first of all, I need to distribute the 5/9 x. So I'm going to get y minus 2 equals 5/9 times x is 5/9 x plus 5 times 4 is 20/9. So 5/4 times 4 is 20/9. Now what I need to do, because it needs to be in standard form, get rid of the fraction. What's in the denominator?
9.
9, so that's what I'm going to multiply on both sides. When I multiply by 9 on both sides, bingo, bango, my 9's are gone in the denominator. So now I have 9 times the quantity of y minus 2 equals 5x plus 20. Okay, I'm almost there. Got to redistribute on this side. 9 times y is 9y minus 9 times 2 is 18 equals 5x plus 20. Almost there. So I want to get this into standard form, so I need to get x and y by themselves. I'm going to deal with the variable first. So I'm subtracting 5x on both sides. So I'm left with negative 5x plus 9y minus 18 equals 20. Last thing I do, add 18 to both sides. We cancel, and I'm left with negative 5x plus 9y equals 20 plus 18, 32. Kind of a long one because it was a two-parter. Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes? Can I change the paper or still writing? Still writing, okay. So again, after you distribute the fraction, which is the slope, multiply by whatever's in the denominator to get rid of what's in the denominator so that you get a whole number. Then you got to simplify the equation as much as possible, which is why we distributed here. And you have to get x and y on both sides and get the other number on the other side. Okay. All right, 14. It says a chef cooks 9 pounds of chicken for 36 people and 17 pounds of chicken for 68 people. Find the rate of change. Well, rate of change is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x. Rate of change, also known as the slope. So we know 17 minus 9, that's how many people are being cooked for in each situation, over 68 minus 36. So then I subtract, and I get 8 over 32. So I reduce, and I get 1/4. What does that mean? They all get 1/4 of what he cooks. Yes?
Yes.
Cool. All right, number 15. Find the slope of a line that passes through the pair of points. So they give us 0.6, comma, 6.1, and they give us 2.6 and 0.1. Don't let the decimals get you down. Okay, this is still your x, this is still your y, this is still your x2, this is still your y2. Okay, so rate of change, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have 0.1, that's my y2, minus my first y, 6.1, over 2.6, which is my x2, minus my x1 is 0.6. When I subtract 0.1 from 6.1, I actually get negative 6 even. And when I subtract 2.6 from 0.6, I get an even number of 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. That's your answer. You guys did a great job. Number 16. They give us the slope, which is 4. M is 4. M is also represented for a slope. And B represents what? What does B represent? The y-intercept, which is 2/3. Write an equation with the line given the slope and the y-intercept. Is that easy or what? Okay, the equation is y equals mx plus b. So let's plug it in. Y equals, what's m? 4x plus what's b? 2/3. Guess what? That's the answer. Simple, simple. I just want you to plug it in. (17) gives us a graph that looks like so. They want you to write the slope intercept form of the equation for the line. So for slope intercept, there are two things that I need to find. I need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, well here are the points right here. So I'm going to find out what the slope is by counting from point to point. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go up 7. I go to the left, so it means it's going to be negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I found my slope. My slope is negative 7 over 5. Now you may think that the y-intercept is easy to find. Actually on this one it's kind of hard. It's not exactly halfway, so it can't be like a 0.5 or a half. It's a little more. So actually my y-intercept is 4/5. It's like 4/5 of the way down. I know it's kind of hard to see. So from there, I plug it into the formula y equals mx plus b. Y equals m, negative 7 over 5x, plus b, 4/5. Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot. Thank you. Negative 4/5. That's the sign. That wouldn't be good. We're okay with that one? Okay. 18. Almost there. Find the x and y intercept of the line. Ooh, do we remember how to do this? Yes, we do. Okay, to find the x and y intercepts, I have to let y be 0 and x be 0. So for my first equation, to find the x-intercept, I have to let y be 0. So I have 2x plus 3 times 0, because I'm letting y be 0, equals negative 18. So I'm left with 2x, because 3 times 0 is 0, equals negative 18. divide both sides by 2, and x equals negative 9. Okay, I found x. Now it asks me to find the y-intercept, so I need to let x be 0. So I have 2, x is 0 now, plus 3y equals negative 18. 2 times 0 is 0, so I'm left with 3y equals negative 18. Divide by 3 on both sides, and y equals negative 6. And then I need to write my answer the way that it's going to look like on the test. Negative 9, semicolon, negative 6. I know we might have forgotten about that. But that's your answer. The x is negative 9, the y is negative 6. Okie dokie, we're getting there. Okay. All right. Number 19. All right, we have 2 parts to this problem. They ask us 2 different things. They want us to write an equation of a line that has the same slope as this equation. Then they want us to have the same y-intercept as this equation. So what do I need to do? The first equation is 2x plus 3y equals negative 18. To find the slope, sorry, I wrote the last question. Oh, Ms. Graham, pay attention. 2x minus 5y equals 12. So in order to find out what the slope is, you need to put it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides to get y by itself. I'm left with negative 5y equals negative 2x plus 12. To isolate the variable, I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. Negative 5. Y equals a positive 2 fifths, because negative 2 over negative 5, 2 fifths x, minus, because a positive and a negative is a negative, 12 over 5. Okay, so I got it in slope-intercept form. So my equation needs to have the same slope, 2 fifths, as that equation. But the second equation they give me, 4y plus 24 equals 5x, I need to have the same y-intercept as this equation. So I'm going to get it all by itself by subtracting 24 on both sides. I'm left with 4y equals 5x minus 24. I don't get how some of you aren't writing this down. You just got them all right. All the steps are the same. You're going to get points for the steps. I don't get it. Divide by 4 on both sides. 4 is canceled. Y equals 5 over 4x minus 24 divided by 4 is 6. Ah, that's my y-intercept. So now I can write an equation with this slope and this y-intercept. Y equals 2 fifths x, needs to be the same as that slope, and this y-intercept minus 6. That's all they're asking you. I have the slope of the first equation and the y-intercept of the second equation to make my own equation. Number 20, write an equation in point-slope form for the line at the given point with the given slope. Okay? So, I have 4, negative 6, and m equals 2 fifths. Plus here, 3 fifths. 3 fifths. So I want you to write it in point slope form. So that's y minus y1 equals m times the quantity, x minus x1. I always write down the equation first so I don't mess up where I plug things in. Okay? So y minus y1 is negative 6 equals m. M is 3 over 5 times the quantity of x minus 4. So that is y plus 6 equals 3 over 5 times the quantity of x minus 4. That's it. Okay, just want you to write it in that form. You don't have to do anything further. Not to do anything further. We good?
Wait, no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, 21's a two-parter, but we can do it. It's just like the last one. So it gives us 2 points. They want it in point slope form and slope intercept form. So they gave us 1 and -5 and -3 and 7. So the first form, letter A, is they want it in point slope form. Well, I can't do that unless I find the slope first, which is the rate of change. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have 7 minus -5 over -3 minus 1. Also known as 7 plus 5 because 2 negatives is a positive. And then I have -3 minus 1. 7 plus 5 is 12. -3 minus 1 is -4. 12 divided by a -4 is a -3. Found my slope. Now I can write it in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. Plug it in. So I'm going to use these points right here. Y minus y1 is -5. M is -3, because we found the slope. And then x minus x1, which is 1. Y plus 5, because 2 negatives is a positive, equals -3 x minus 1. Solve letter A. All they wanted us to do was write it in that form. Letter B asked us to make it into slope-intercept form, so I'm going to take what I have from letter A, take what I have, and now turn it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to distribute my -3 first. So y plus 5 equals -3 times x is -3x. -3 times a -1 is a positive 3. We're all okay with that?
Yes.
Yes? Good. All right, so now I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So remember, this is slope-intercept, so y needs to be by itself. Subtract 5 from both sides. Positive 5, -5 cancel. Y equals -3x. Positive 3 minus 5 is -2. And now it's in slope-intercept. Remember, you can't subtract the 5 by the -3x because they are not like terms. (22) is basically just like 7. Okay? 22 says the table shows the height of a plant as it grows. Okay? Model the data with an equation. Okay? So, I did it a certain way, you might have done it differently. I found the slope first, or the rate of change between the two numbers. So I picked the first two. It's always easier for me to pick these first two and these first two. And so I have my y's, which are 30 minus 18, over my x's, which are 5 minus 3. And again, where did I get those numbers? I chose the first two. So I did 30 minus 18 for my y, and 5 minus 3 for my x. So I ended up getting 12 over 2, also known as a 6. So then my equation that I'm going to write it I'm going to write it in point slope form because that's easy for me. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x. So I have y minus y1, which is my 18, equals m, which is my 6, times x minus my x1, which is 3. So that's my equation for letter A. I basically found the slope or rate of change between the two, and then I put it into point slope form for an equation. Letter B says, based on your model, predict the height of a plant that is 12 months. 12 months. So, did anyone use a different equation, by the way? It's possible. All right, so it says, based on your model, predict the height of the plant at 12 months. I can make my own prediction, and I know that it's going to be about 72 centimeters. Now, why do I know that? Looking at the graph, okay, this is the time in months. The rate of change is about 3, okay? And then, so I know that when it gets from here to here and about 3, it's going to be a little over 70. So it's going to be about 72. Three more. Yes, quiz.
To answer that question, so you can just like take a number that's somewhere in that general area. Is there a specific number?
I can plug in my rate of change with my x's and y's, and you can figure out that it's going to be about 72. Because this goes from 3, 5, 7, 9. What's the next number? 11, and then there's going to be 13. So it's in between that. So if I found the rate of change between 11 and 13 and the next two numbers, I can assume it's going to be about 72 centimeters. But that's why you have your equation. All right. Oh. 23. They're asking us if the lines are parallel, explain why or why not. So I have y equals 4x plus 3. I like to put them on different sides of my paper. Negative 24x plus 4y equals 96. So for me, do I need to do anything to this one? Yes or no?
No.
No, it's already in slope-intercept form. What's my slope? 4. So I just need to figure out if this second equation has a slope that is going to be correlating to that. So I'm going to put in slope-intercept form by adding 24x to both sides. I'm left with 4y equals 24x plus 96. To isolate the variable, I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. Y equals 24 divided by 4 is 6x plus 96 divided by 4 is 24. What's my slope of that line? Are they the same? Are they opposite inverses? So what's my answer? Neither, right? So the line says, is it parallel? My answer is no. The slopes are not the same. Because it only asked me if it was parallel. If it was parallel, the slopes would be the same. So no, the slopes are not the same. It is your lunch time. Let's go ahead and pause that.
How do you pause it?
Or just stop it. That's okay.